Hello, this is Carol King, the developer of Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS. This video is focused on whether workers' compensation is required from your trades in your state and how you can mark your trades that the workers' compensation is required for them, and then get some resulting reports of what was paid to them for a certain year for just the ones that are marked as workers' comp. So this will be a pretty short video. We have gone over in previous videos the stuff about setting up vendors, marking them as workers' comp required, showing how you get alerts about their workers' comp when you're entering bills to pay, how you can send comments to the field that their workers' comp is expired or something. I have to be honest with you in this video. We are in Texas, so we don't have a super lot of experience, myself included, with dealing with workers' comp for the trade. If you'll look up things about Texas, they're not having to do that so much. But we have provided you some reports that should help you in whatever state that you're in. The first thing I'd like to show you is that if you go to Operating Help and All Help, maybe you can type to search the help for worker. I'm doing this for a reason. And all kinds of things have opened up where I'm referring to workers' comp for trades, workers' comp, vendors' trades. You can see this section is vendor trades, suppliers, vendor trades. And then there's a section for liabilities, workers' comp, and this is the video that I'm doing, workers' comp for trades, suppliers, right here. As you can see, there's an old video out there, but I'm updating it right now. But what I'd like to also show you is that it shows up in a section for employees and payroll. The reason I'm saying that is that if you're talking about workers' comp that you're having to do because you have employees, you want to go watch this video down under payroll, not the one I'm doing right now, which is about whether workers' comp is required from your trades or subcontractors. I'll close this. So what I'm going to do, let's collapse that one, is head over to Vendors Setup and Info, and I'm going to go to Vendors Insurance. If you look for workers' comp in the index and start typing workers, you'll see workers' comp insurance audit, and if I click that, it's going to go to this menu. If I close this, also if I go to vendor insurance down here under vendors, it goes to the same menu. What I'm going to show you first of all is that you could start using this vendor expiration throughout the year to look for things where workers' comp has expired. What will show up here is active vendors only, and only ones that you've marked that workers' comp is required, and it will show their expiration dates and the last time paid. You can use some search features up here. I've gone over these about looking at expirations and dealing with them, but you can use some search features maybe to just find ones that have been paid after whatever year you're interested in looking at for your workers' comp, and then requesting from them their certificate, which you can do here, and like I said, I've showed in other videos. So you can do that. Just see the vendors marked for workers' comp. You can see all these are in red because we haven't updated them in forever because we're not a builder, and I actually don't have any workers' comp insurance certificates to show you because I'm in Texas, so I don't have any good examples of that. But what we're going to look at is what CHS will provide you about the information. And we're going to use the year 2008, even though I'm sitting here in March 2021, but I found that there was more stuff there for us to just take a look at. So I'm just doing, not 2008, 2018. I'm going to do the workers' comp audit is what it's called. What it's going to show you is all the paid bills for vendors marked that workers' comp insurance is required. Paid dates, and it shows the paid dates I put in, and it's telling you that this does not include any deductions you did from the vendor for insurance deductions. It's showing the total that was paid to them without those, and it does not include entries marked with a cost type of sales tax, so that you're just seeing straight out what was paid to them for labor or turnkey or materials or whatever. Usually it's probably labor and turnkey for these workers' comp, and it's for trades. But if we scroll down through here and you see an expire date, an expired before paid date right here, you'll see that we have one vendor, Austin Air Conditioning, that shows that it was expired in 2014, but that we paid these records in 4/23/2018, so they expired before the paid date. And we want to alert ourselves about that. You could just look throughout the year at this particular thing and see who's showing up as yes And if you only want to see who has expired, yes, and search, you will just see that Austin Air Conditioning. So you can either do this, Austin Air. I just want to click that because although we've already gone over it, over here is the section for workers' comp insurance where you check mark that it's required from this trade, and you enter their expiration date once you get their certificate, and you enter what the workers' comp rate is. That is used for the report that we will see in a minute, just to do a little calculation, but also if when you're entering a bill, you get an alert that workers' comp is expired and it asks if you'd like to deduct an amount from them for that. It will use the rates that's here. It'll drop it in to deduct from there. You can use the question mark button to read some more about all of this and the rate and some hints for you. And right here, you could request a vendor's workers' comp certificate. And you can do this, request workers' comp. CHS will prepare what we call a comment to send to Austin Air to request their latest workers' comp insurance certificate. And then you can just go ahead and send it to them. They'll get an email that tells them to please use our communication portal button and reply and upload their certificate. And then we should get a notice back when they do that, and it will be in our comments. And there will be on the launch tab, if you're looking at the comments and you get the notice back that they have uploaded theirs, there's a link there to automatically upload and attach that to this vendor. We have talked about these control documents for the vendor, and if you open that, you can see that we don't have a workers' comp insurance certificate uploaded, but you can upload one right here and then also enter the updated date. But I'm not going to do that because I don't have anything for that. And we're wanting to leave them expired for just a second so that we can show reports. The other thing, if I resubmit the search that I just did, it refreshed it just in case I made a change to their expiration date, is right here. You can go ahead and do the upload if you've gotten the upload, and upload it right here, or send a request for the document from here without opening the Austin Air setup. Now this report over here is called a results report. In other words, it's only going to report to you what you've searched for. So let's do that first, just real quick, so that you'll see that it's saying expired before paid date, yes, because they were paid in 2018 and they expired in 2014. And all we've got on here is this one, and it's showing you the filters that were used for this report based on your search. So let's just clear that search out. And all we've got in here is people paid in 2018, and we can get a report of that, the results report, however you're needing to use it for getting information for your workers' comp. But you'll see that it's showing a short or small URL for the upload for the insurance certificate supposedly, and if you export it to PDF and open it with your own reader, you're going to see that this hyperlink gets active with a hand. If I'd uploaded a workers' comp certificate, I could click on it right here to see that certificate. So the entire report, that's the only one I've done, but if you'd uploaded, there'd be other short URLs here. And so if you upload those certificates, they're going to start showing up on this report. But also this report is showing, it says expired, yes, because I'm doing this in March of 2021, but it's showing expired before paid date, no. So this one is just fine for the year 2018. They're all in 2018, what I asked for. But you'll see that our Austin Air says expired before paid date, yes. So it's giving you some information about that. If I close this PDF that I opened, you can see that you can also export this report to Excel and do whatever you like with the records and with the data that is in this report if needed. This is the best way, because all states are different, that we could present to you your information about the trades that you mark that workers' comp is required, and to give you the information about what you paid them during a certain workers' comp policy period, perhaps. If it's important to you on those reports, the cost types that dropped in when you were entering the bill and the cost type that you let stay there are right here. When you enter a bill, you can select the cost type other than the one that drops in related to the cost code. So if you realize you wished that you had put a different cost type on something. Let's say I wanted this 425 to be, I thought, oh, that should be labor. I clicked that little pencil edit icon, and I can change this to labor right now and submit it. What I'm doing is just changing that accounts payable invoice so that it has a different cost type. And on that results ledger, you can see that we're seeing the various cost types here. I think that was a big buck one that I did. You can see that labor one that I did for that 425, etc. So if you're somehow sending it to Excel and you just need the labor ones, you can do that. Or if you wanted to search and you wanted to do the cost types of just labor, if that's what was important. Let's clear the search because I don't want to do expired. Let's just do labor. Now you see just the ones that were marked with labor, and if I do a results report, it will just be the ones marked that we paid for labor. If that's what is required in your state, all you want is labor, you're going to need to be very careful that you enter your bills and mark the portion of the bill that is labor. If it's turnkey, try to get from your vendor how much was for labor and how much was for materials, and enter the two lines for that so that they're separated so that you can search for the records just marked with labor. That may be important in your state or not. I'm just making up things for you. But I just basically wanted to show you that that's the results of marking vendors, that workers' comp is required, and that we will give you some reports of what was paid to them, and that you could come in here and search for ones that seem to be paid after an expiration date by putting in the dates of your policy period, and then send a request to them for their workers' comp insurance certificate. I hope that helps, and thank you for watching.